thank you for taking the time. This is very exciting for me.
You're welcome.
I'm such a huge fan of the show. It's so funny, like with a show like that, it's so much about your backstories and who you guys are. It really does feel like I am friends with you, Chigs. I do consider a close personal friend. It's nice now to see you face to face. But it must have been a crazy ride for you thus far. I would like to start with sort of your narrative throughout the season. Obviously, the big thing, I just started baking at the start of last year. I would really like to know exactly what that means. Is that like, I don't know what an egg is, or like souffles are kind of hard for me sometimes? Where were you on that scale?
So my background, I've always enjoyed cooking, but baking I've dabbled now and again. But it wasn't up until the lockdown when I actually took it seriously. The way it started was my brother-in-law came from London with my sister because their house in London was getting renovated. So they came and moved into ours for a bit while their house there was getting done. And he came with some sourdough starter.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically started making some sourdough, and I kind of got hooked on it because once you start, you want to master it because it takes a while to learn how to do proper sourdough. And it turned out pretty well, actually. My first loaf did, and then it got better and better. And then I kind of got bored of that. And then I started going to all these bakeries and stuff like that, and finding loads of different stuff to try because I got a massive sweet tooth.
Yeah.
Brought loads of stuff back home, and then I started going on YouTube and learning how to make certain things. So I started laminating dough, making like creme patissières, creme diplomats, and just learning, and was constantly learning, and I just wanted to learn more and more and more. Because we were during lockdown as well, so I had so much time. I had nothing else to do during the weekend, so I just tried to bake loads of different things, and so I'd taken pictures of them, sending it to my friends and my family. And that's it. So I've always known my way around a kitchen, but like baking, it just became like a bit of an addiction, actually.
Yeah, sure. So can you tell me about the application process for the show? What do you have to do, and how do they choose you?
So there's an application form you got to fill out first of all. That's the first step, and then there's several different steps after that. There's telephone interviews, and because I think during lockdown we weren't allowed to go we weren't allowed to do the normal process.
Yeah.
So a lot of it was done via Zoom and stuff like that. And then I'll find out the. Sorry.
Do they do you have to like cook or bake for them to get on the show? Like, what's that process? Is somebody do you go someplace and then you sort of do the challenge?
Yeah, so some of the things you have to bake and send pictures of, and some of the things you have to bake, and then they Zoom call you and you have to describe what you made and why you made it, what ingredients you used and stuff like that. And then when you get to towards the final stages, you have to go somewhere and then take something with you that you've baked.
Wow. What'd you take?
It was a celebration cake.
Okay.
It was just like any cake you wanted to do, had to be multiple layers, and it had to celebrate an occasion. And for me, what was my occasion? I think my celebration, just getting this far in the application process, it was just a shock to me.
Yeah. So when you find out your cast, how does it work in terms of prepping what you're going to make? Like, do they tell you a rundown of all of the challenges, so you have to come with ideas for all of those in your head, or do they tell you weekly what you have to do?
So we got given the briefs for each week, and then you have to submit your bake with your ingredients and your method and everything on a weekly basis to them before we actually got into the bubble. So that's the way that worked. And then you send the brief off to them with what you're baking, with photos and stuff like that, and they make sure that you hit the brief and stuff like that.
So can you walk me through the practice tent? The practice tent is this elusive, fans of the show, we hear about the practice tent all the time, all the stuff going on in the practice tent. How much time weekly do you guys have in the tent? Because as a viewer, it's so funny sometimes because, they'll be going around and say, oh, Chigs, have you tried this before? Have you made this before? No. And then, I'm screaming at the TV, how did you never make it before? So what goes on in the practice tent, and how much time do you guys have there?
So we were in the bubble for 7. Well, I wasn't there for 7 weeks anyway, because we were there I was there for the full duration. So you have like a couple of days filming, a couple of days practice in the practice tent, then filming again, then practice, filming, then practice. So it's 2 days filming, 2 days practice. So you're in the tent, and then you have the tent's open for a set period of time during the day, and it's all cubicled off, and you just do your practice in there. and you just try. Like for me, none of my bakes worked out right in the practice tent for me, not once. I think actually I tell you, like once the snooker table that turned out perfectly fine. Everything else I kept on making mistakes, but as I was making mistakes, I was learning, and then I kept on changing my method. So I wrote down, avoid doing this, avoid doing that. So when I went into the actual tent to do it, I've already made all my mistakes. So then I kind of turned out okay on the day.
How much of your competitors' food are you eating while you're there?
All the time.
How are you not 700 pounds?
You have I gained weight when I was in tent. I did gain a couple of pounds, but I was running every day as well. So after I'd done filming or after the practice, I'd go for a run. But like when I'm baking at home, I hardly eat any of the stuff that I bake. I usually give it away to friends and family. I like to have a little taste to make sure it tastes good, and then I give it all of it away. But I try not to. I think a lot of bakers do that. A lot of chefs do that as well. Like they don't eat much of their own food. But,
well, I know it's so funny. It's like I read this thing that like Padma Lakshmi says, like the host of Top Chef, where she talks about like it's like an endurance race, like being a judge on Top Chef, because you have to eat so much food. I don't know how the judges do it. I mean, I don't know how Paul and Prue are just like. I mean, I would explode. I mean, they eat so much food. It's insane. But so, I mean, you must be everybody's best friend. Will you be my friend? Can I?
Of course.
Fantastic. So you have people just coming by, knocking on your door all the time, like asking what you're making.
My friends ask me for cakes and stuff like that quite often. My family do as well. So, but for me, that's just practicing. This whole process has just been a massive learning journey for me. So I just want to continue learning, and I just want to try to get to another level of baking now, because I still feel like I'm at like beginner level. There's so much more out there that I need to learn.
Beginner level.
Yeah.
You made the finale. You're an ingenue. You're an ingenue.
Yeah, it was wicked.
I've seen what you've done. Yeah,
I enjoyed the whole process. I've learned so much. Like every day in the tent for me was a learning day. And having the likes of like Jürgen was like my baking Yoda. Like he taught me so much. I met him yesterday evening because we went to a show last night. Me, Jürgen, Giuseppe, everybody. But that was amazing. But like I learned something from everybody. Like Freya was amazing at pipe work and doing flowers and stuff like that. So she was teaching me that. Giuseppe's Italian flavors, I learned so much from him. Jürgen's bread making skills and flavor combinations. Jorginho's, like his flavors were like mind blowing, incredible flavors. And then we had George, who was like the Greek god, like his flavors were like from a Cypriot background. Yeah, everybody had something to give. Like I was really good with chocolate work. So I did some chocolate work with some people and showed them how to temper chocolate. So we all learned. And that's what I liked about this group of people. I don't think there was anybody in that group of people that went in there to win. We just went there because we love baking. And everybody was just unbelievable. The relationship that we've got as a group of bakers has been wicked. I've like made 11 new friends now, which is unbelievable.
Well, it's something I have to say. I mean, as somebody who's watched every season of the show, I definitely got this sense that it was one of the strongest, if not maybe the strongest casts ever put together. Was that the vibe that you guys were getting while you were on the show? Were you like, man, this competition is stiff? Yeah.
I mean, when I got to the tent and I met George was the first baker that I met. And then when we started talking, we all met for the first time. We were all looking at each other's phones and everyone's going through some of the things they baked. And I was like, oh my God, what the hell have I got myself into here? Like, look at the things these guys are baking. And I was going through pictures of stuff that I baked. And mine was like really bog standard stuff. And then their stuff was like mind blowing. And I started getting a bit of imposter syndrome at that point. But then when I started baking and stuff like that, I started building confidence. And but like the level of bakers this year was like, I'm sure every baker every year says the same thing. The competition is so hard. So I can only talk on the group of bakers that I baked with, and everybody was unbelievable. And we just all learned from each other. Like when it got towards the latter stage of the competition, it was getting tough then, really tough. And the challenges were getting harder and harder as well. So you got to bring your A game every day.
Well, on that note, you know, if we can zero in on the finale, it seemed like really the three of you kind of struggled a little bit. You were kind of spinning your wheels a little bit. It felt like the confidence wasn't quite there. Was that sort of nerves? Was it the fact that the challenges were harder? What was going on? Because it really felt like all three of you kind of had a couple of slip ups there at the end, and it was really just anybody's race.
Yeah, I mean, like the final is daunting anyway because you're in the final of the Bake Off, and the fact that I'm there with Crystal and Giuseppe as well, it makes it even harder because they're both unbelievable people and amazing bakers. Yeah. But like for me, the first challenge was carrot cake. That was the second time I've ever made carrot cake. Was in the final. I don't know why I put so much carrot in there. I don't know what was going on through my head. I don't know if I did a typo on the menu, on the ingredients, or I just don't know what was going on. For me, when I looked at my carrot cake, I was like, oh my God, mine looks amazing. That's brilliant. And I had a funny feeling when Prue turned around and asked me how much carrot I got in there, and I said 900 grams, and she pulled that face, I was like, something ain't right here. I just had to go with what I'd written down and just pray to God that it'd work out. But like, I think for me, I don't know about the other two guys, I think there was a bit of nervousness in there. When we did the technical challenge, they had to make Belgian buns. I think what I said, I was like, I ain't got a clue what that was. And on the method, it was 2 lines.
Of course, I know. I don't know. Well, it's all funny too when like, and I guess you guys know, I mean, obviously you know more about this stuff than me, but I do love when it's like, okay, 2 lines. And then Prue was like, well, they all know how to make a lemon curd, of course. I'm like, they do?
The lemon curd was okay because I made an orange curd for one of the practice things that I had to do. So I was okay with making the curd. It was just the way it's supposed to look. And I don't know if you guys can remember, but there was no equipment there this time either. So usually we'll have the KitchenAid to make the dough. But we have to do everything by hand this time. So it was an enriched dough made by hand. And making an enriched dough is hard enough anyway, but doing it by hand because you have to have butter and it's so sticky and it's a wet dough. It was tough. It was really tough. But I think I rolled my dough out and I cut it in 2, and then that was my mistake. That's why I didn't get the tight roll. But you live and learn. And I think I know after day 1 of filming the final, I know I was at risk of going. So in the final day where I had to do my showstopper, I had to come out swinging. And I was really, really chuffed to bits with what I delivered on my showstopper. Like, I don't think I could have done anything better. That was tough. That was really tough. That challenge was.
Oh my gosh. I bet. Well, the show is so funny because now it's like, if I have carrot cake now in the future, I'm like, well, I mean, this is a really good carrot cake because, as you know, I mean, carrots are very moist. So, you know, they let off a lot of water. So this is a really feat of science. You know, it's a great carrot cake. Like, I consider myself an expert now. It's like it's created a whole generation of people who know what they're talking about when I truly have no clue. When you like, are carrots your nemesis? Have you tried to cook another or bake another carrot cake since, or are you just swearing off?
No, I am going to make another carrot cake. I've got a couple of Christmas things I need to do first of all, but I reckon I am going to start making some carrot cake again. I need to master that because I think I want to make the same carrot cake I made in the tent, but I want to do it properly. I did ask Giuseppe for his recipe for his carrot cake because he did his in a different style. I think he blended his carrots and put his carrots through the sponge, whereas I grated it in and put it through. So I would love to try Giuseppe's one and see how that works out.
What are you making for Christmas, if I can ask?
A Yule log.
Of course.
Yep. I'm making some Christmas cookies. And then what else is there? I'm making sticky toffee. So for Christmas Day, the family wants sticky toffee pudding. So I'm going to make sticky toffee pudding for the first time. Ooh. And then we're having a big family do just before Christmas, where my whole of my mum's side of the family, we're all going to get together in London. And they want me to make a pavlova for them because that's what I got my first handshake for. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to make some sort of Christmas pavlova.
This is just your life now, right? People are like asking you to make stuff just for every occasion. This is just it now. The rest of your life. We're going to call Chigs up. He'll make a pavlova for us.
He'll make a pavlova for us. Yeah, it is. But you know what? I kind of enjoy it. At least I'm bringing something to the event now. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah. When you, now that you've seen the finale, and you know that Giuseppe won, do you regret not kissing the spatula?
Do I regret it? I don't know if I regret it. I wish I did kiss it anyway, just for a laugh. But I think I was so in a zone. Like, we had 4.5 hours to do 4 different baking disciplines and make 6 of each thing.
Yeah.
And I was under the car. I worked fast anyway. Like, I was pretty fast in the tent. But even then, I was up against it. And I think Giuseppe is one of the most chilled out people you'll ever meet. And even he was running around in the tent on that day. So I know, like, it was a tough challenge. But like, Giuseppe for me is a worthy winner. He cooks from the heart and from the soul. I love the story of his father as well. How he's doing it all for his dad, and to live it, to continue his legacy and stuff like that, which is unbelievable. That kind of sits nicely with me as well, because I lost my father when I was really young. So when I see him with his father, I'm like, oh, that's really cute. Like, it's really nice. And like the fact that his kids didn't know about it all, and just the whole story just all fell nicely into place, which is amazing for him. So chuffed to bits for him.
Well, you're talking sort of about like Matt and Noel sort of hovering around. I mean, I can't imagine there weren't a couple times where you just like, can you leave me alone? Can you, like, if I were on that show, I would have lost people at some point. I would have, you shut up. Like, you're so.
I think I did all right.
Yeah, you're very, very calm, very nice. You humor them.
Yeah, I mean, I spoke to them all the time. They came over every single time they came over to me, and I think my friends and everybody said, Chigs, you don't like being disturbed anyway when you're doing something. Because when I go into a zone, I said, I just need to change that. And I got, like, when they first started coming to talk to me, because it's all new to you, you don't know what they're going to say or what they do. Yeah. As you go on week by week, you kind of get used to them, and then you get used to talking and baking at the same time. You kind of ignore the cameras as well, because I think after episode 2, you kind of become oblivious to the cameras being around you, and you just do your own thing. So yeah, like I got used to Matt and Noel. Like, Matt and Noel were absolutely amazing. They're so supportive, funny as hell. Noel's crazy as he is on TV. He's unbelievable, such a nice guy. And Matt as well, he's just like a genuinely nice, humble lad. Yeah. Amazing people.
Can I want to ask you about a specific moment. So in week 7, when you made the decision to start wearing glasses, did you know that you were creating a moment so spectacular that it would flip popular culture on its head, Chigs?
I had no idea. I don't wear contact lenses, but I do wear glasses to read, and when I'm on my laptop and stuff like that, when I'm working. But I started getting a few headaches when I was in the tent, because I was reading my method and stuff. I said I need to wear my glasses because I was straining looking at it all. So I stopped. Let me wear my glasses, and I did not expect the reaction that I got. I mean, like, I think the internet went mad.
You did.
I think my friend messaged me and sent me a screenshot from, because I'm not on social. Well, I'm on Instagram and that's it. I'm not on any other platform.
Good for you.
Screenshot from Twitter. And it said trending first was Great British Bake Off, and then after that, number 2, Chigs glasses.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, what?
It's a big moment.
It's like mind blowing, mad. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was a big moment. I mean, I know that I don't have to tell you. It sounds like your friends are responsible for letting you know, but you have become obviously a baking sex symbol, Chigs. You have. You're aware of this. You are, okay. What has it been like becoming sort of the hunk of pastry?
I don't know. It's all overwhelming. I've said this before. It's like the comments that everyone's been leaving. They've been so supportive. Everyone's been so nice. And like, I am taken back by it all. It's just like, for me, I'm just like a little lad. I'm an old lad from Leicester. I never expected that sort of reaction. But it is overwhelming. It's nice at the same time. It just gives you like a little feel good feeling inside and stuff like that. But like, yeah, my friends, my family, I've got a nice tight knit group of people around me that keep me grounded,
keep you humble.
All the time. Yeah, keep me humble. So I'm very humble, but at the same time, I do like the comments that I've been getting. I do like it.
I hope so. I mean, so the comments are one thing. Have you dared look into the DMs? Because if
my DMs. It's constantly got 99 plus on my DMs now. I do go in there and I try to respond to as many people as I can, because some people leave some absolutely amazing messages. I think some of the things that people have been saying in terms of, you've inspired me, to go out and, you know, find sort of a new hobby and then go for it and stuff like that and do something different. And for me, that's probably the thing that's touched me the most, is that I've inspired some people. You might only be a handful of people, but still, I just wanted to do something where I'm coming out that normal 9 to 5 rat race, going to work, coming home, going gym, reading, watching TV, going bed. I didn't want to do that with the rest of my life. And I just want to I wanted to pick something up and then run with it and give it everything that I've got. And then it just happened to be baking. Because I've always been a foodie. I've always loved food. Like, I come from a very foodie family, like a lot of people. And that's thanks to my mom, my gran, my auntie, and everybody. Our families just revolves around food all the time. And I've always wanted to go into food in a bit more detail and maybe potentially get a career out of it. So now, fingers crossed, something will happen from this, and I can continue doing this, because when your friends and family say, we've never seen you this happy before, that for me means a lot. So
that's every. So wait, are you still currently working your pre-show job, or is that done?
Yeah, no, I'm still working.
What do you do? What do you do?
So I'm a sales manager for an insurance company in the UK. So I manage 16 sales agents. So I'm still managing that and doing all this other stuff in the background. So I'm busy. I'm very, very, very busy.
Well, I know. I would guess so. So there must have been, when you came back from the show, there must have been a period in between you coming back and the show airing, right? So once the episode started rolling out, what were your coworkers saying?
So I told my boss, and my boss knew that I applied. Because prior to me applying, I got made redundant from my previous job that I was in for 16 years. And then I landed a new job literally a month after. So that was in November 2020. Just after I started, I filled in my application form for Bake Off. And I told quite a lot of people that I've applied, thinking that I'm not going to get on the show. And then as I started going further and further into the application process, I started telling less and less people basically found out that I was going to go on the show. And then I found out that I got onto the show, rang my boss up, said, look, Gaffer, I've managed to get onto the Bake Off. And you know what? The business had been unbelievable. The company that I work for supported me so much. I had to tell one of the girls that I manage, because she was going to look after the team while I was off. I said, we can't tell the rest of the guys, but I'm going to tell you where I'm going, and this is the reason why, because I'm going to go away for 7 weeks. So I think everybody found out that I was either ill or something along them lines. Chigs has got COVID.
Did any of them know that you were like even into baking at all prior to this? So this is like
hardly anybody knew.
You're not even surprising them that you're leaving. You're surprised. They're like, you bake?
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of people didn't know that I baked. Hardly anybody. A lot of my friends, some of them did, not all of them did. They're like, a lot of my co-workers from the previous place I used to work at, what, Chigs bakes? So I think it was a surprise to a lot of people that I baked. A lot of people.
So do you have to bake a cake now for every co-worker's birthday?
I baked, like, for me, cake is the hardest thing to bake because so much can go wrong. And when people say to me, can you bake me a cake for my child? Yeah, exactly. Can you bake me a cake for my kid's birthday? Can you bake me a cake for my wedding? Can you do this? That's a lot of pressure. That's a hell of a lot of pressure.
Sure.
And I'd rather go in the tent and do something in the tent than bake someone's wedding cake for them. I'll tell you that all day long. And because I'm so new to baking, I feel like I've not got enough experience baking big, extravagant cakes. Because a lot can go wrong. So I want to get a bit more experience doing cakes. And then I'll start doing cakes for like big events if I can. But I like,
pressure's on now.
I love making homely stuff. Like I love making cookies, brownies, like pies, pastries and stuff like that. But I didn't know I had a real massive passion for French pâtissier. So that's like the dainty stuff. And I really want to continue learning how to get better and better at that. Like my layered slices, like, I can show you pictures. Let me show you some pictures of what my layered slices looked like when I practiced.
Okay, I'm ready.
They were bad. Yeah. Can you remember what they looked like in the show?
I do. They were incredible.
Okay, right.
Of course, do I remember what they looked like on the show? Give me a
I
break.
need to find the picture.
Thought about them for weeks.
They were like, come on.
This is, I mean, the anticipation here is killing me. I can't even tell you.
I'm sorry.
No,
I need to find
please. This is great. This is everything I've ever wanted in life. See, it has to be hard now for you though, because like pre being on the show, you could cook something, and if it sucked, they'd be like, "Oh, Chigs tried," and now it's like pressure is on. Like it has to be stellar.
It's why, like, when somebody tastes my food now, I'm like sitting there waiting in anticipation.
Yeah.
Please let it be good. Please let it be good.
Oh, that has to be very nerve-wracking.
It is nerve-wracking. It's very nerve-wracking. Right, where are these slices? I think we're getting closer.
Is your phone just completely filled with pictures of pastry? Yeah.
Pictures of cakes and just loads of bake-off stuff, and then family photos. And I've got a little nephew as well. And I've got his birthday was coming up. Oh, here we go. Right. So
exciting for me.
Save. That's a favorite, and then it turned out 3 times.
How many photos are on your phone, Chigs?
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Right. So that's what they look like when I made them at home.
Oh.
Totally different, right?
Oh, I would say so, yes. I mean, those still look pretty good. But
I was really disappointed. And in the practice tent, they changed to, which is just here. They look like that.
So this
is a little bit better.
Oh, hello. Absolutely.
Wait, can you see the bottom? It's all chocolate. So
yeah.
Chocolate Gicond, chocolate ganache, another chocolate Gicond. But then in the tent, in the practice tent, I thought that's too chocolatey. I can't taste the raspberry. So then I changed it again and went for a vanilla sponge at the bottom, vanilla Gicond at the bottom instead of a chocolate one.
So you killed it. So that's what you're into now, huh? The French stuff, the little dainty. Yeah. Okay, I support it. In addition to baking, I know that you're a big sneakerhead, correct? How many pairs of shoes do you have?
57, 58 now, probably.
Okay.
So
are you rotating by the day? You're like, is it just rotating them out?
Yeah. So I've got pairs of trainers.
Oh yeah, I see some up there. Yeah.
But like, I've got a load of them up there. I mean, these are the newest ones I brought the other day.
Oh, I'm gonna see. Nike should just be sending you stuff at this point, Chigs.
These are my new shattered backboards.
Oh yes,
I love these.
Those are great.
These are my faves.
I see. I'm so jealous of you because this is gonna sound like I'm trying to erroneously brag, but I have big. I can't believe I'm telling you this. I have big feet, and so I can't, like, my shoes. The shoes that I buy are like very limited. Like they don't make them in my size. It's almost a blessing because I would spend so much money on shoes, and it's insane. Like these are like this is it. Like it's so boring. Look at this.
It's a running shoe, right? You got running?
I've never been running in my life. Yeah, but it's like this is as cool as it gets for me.
But I got a size 8. Well, it's an American size, 8.5.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is. So 8.5 US size I am. But ever since I was a kid, me and my friends have always been sneakerheads. I mean, a lot of my friends still are massive sneakerheads. So we always, on a group chat, me and my friend Ben always talk about trainers all the time.
I love it.
Dude, one of my biggest passions is clothes, trainers, and what else is there? Food and traveling. A massive travel. Like my biggest passion is traveling and seeing the world. I've been blessed to go traveling around the whole of Asia twice now.
Mm-hmm.
I did backpacking when I was born in 2006 and then again in 2016.
Have you been to the States?
Yes.
Where'd you go?
So first time I went was 1995. So we went to Florida and Atlanta. And then the second time we went to Hawaii and New York.
There you go.
And then I've done a trip to Vegas for my mate's stag do.
What is that?
That's it.
Bachelor party?
Bachelor party.
Is what his stag do?
The stag do, yeah.
I've never seen. You know, Chigs, you teach people so many things. So wait, well, we have to get you to LA, Chigs. That has.
Yes, please invite me. I want to go LA. I've never been LA before. But I do need to make a trip. I do need to make a trip to America again.
Please do.
Yes,
We'd love to have you.
Thank you.
So final question for you. In the finale, you say something along the lines of, it's time to move into your next chapter,
Yeah.
right? Or your next challenge, I believe.
Yeah.
So what is that? I mean, it feels like the world is your oyster. I mean, it feels like you could really do whatever you want to do, whether that's writing a cookbook, whether that's having your own show, whether that's doing stuff online, whether that's becoming a shoe manufacturer. Uh, what what is next for you? What do you want to do now?
So currently right now I'm working on a few bits and bobs. I want to try a lot of different things and then find out which one I actually really enjoy doing the most. And then go down that route and then again go hell for leather and do it. I'm not frightened of making mistakes. I think when I was younger before, I've been like fear would have kicked in and saying, no, I'm scared of doing that. What if that happens? What if that happens? Now I'm just going to do it, and whatever happens, happens. I'll learn from it and move on. I want to do a lot of stuff to help people. I want to do some sort of course or something along the lines where I'm helping disadvantaged kids or disadvantaged people to teach them how to bake so they can go and learn a trade and go off and do things if they want to. I want to do some charity stuff. I want to climb Kilimanjaro because I was going to do that last year, but it got cancelled because of COVID. So that's on the pipe. That's on the books to do next year. I'd love to do it with the rest of the bakers and make and do a thing out of it for charity.
My God.
I'd love to do that.
Noel up. You have to get Noel up there though as well.
Oh yeah, brilliant. Like, if we could do something for charity with some of the bakers, I'd so up for doing that. So let's see what happens. But like, I've got a book here, and it's called The Bucket List, and it's just full of things that I want to do in there. I mean, there's a lot of things I've already done on there, and I just want to work through that book and tick as many things off just to make more memories and just go through different experiences.
And the final thing is come to Los Angeles, Chigs.
Yes, that's on the list. It's on the list, 100%.
Well, listen, I mean, whatever you want to do, you're going to do, because I can just tell, and that's how you're living your life, which is inspiring to me and to all of us. And it was so fun to watch you on the show. I mean, see your growth and your journey. It was amazing. So congratulations on all of that. Can't wait to see what's next. And hit me up when you're in LA.
I will do. When I come down, I'll definitely drop you a message.
Please.
We'd love to come out, go for some food or something like that. That'd be amazing.
Let's do it. I would love nothing more. Thank you. Thanks for the time. Have a great rest of your day, and our paths will cross soon.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Daniel. Take care. Look after yourself, mate. Bye.